How do we give zakat al-fitr? This zakat al-fitr, how do we do it? How much is it? When do we give it? طيب, this is what we're going to talk about now, inshallah. So zakat al-fitr, it should be given in the form of food. That's why it's called fitr, just like iftar. When you make iftar, what are you doing? You're eating. When you make iftar, you're eating. Zakat al-fitr, and you're supposed to be giving food. And also, this zakat al-fitr is for Muslims. Zakat al-fitr is to be given to the Muslims. There's other sadaqah, there's other charity, there's other that you can give to non-Muslims, but zakat al-fitr is for the Muslims. And it should be given in the form of food. What kind of food? The Prophet ﷺ used to give in the form of raisins, used to give in the form of dates, used to give in the form of wheat, barley, etc. So that's what to give. Food, and what kind of food? The ulama, they agree, dry staple foods. So staple foods like rice, for example. Rice is a staple food, right? You can give zakat in the form of rice. And the best form that you can give it in is in food. That's what the Prophet said. Not money. The best form to give it in is food. طيب? And the other thing, and also some other things that you can give. You can give flour. You can give daqiq. Yeah, that is flour. Adas, ful. Y'all know what ful is? Yes, we know ful. And you know adas? Lentils, and full is fava beans. You can give fava beans, or you can give in the adas, which is lentils. Now, that's what you can give, food, and how much. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to give it in what is called a sa'a. And this is 4 ghurufat. And of course, all of you are thinking, what is a sa' and what is ghurfa? A sa' is 4 ghurf. 4 ghurf is like handful. A handful of an average sized man. An average sized man, right? You give 4 handfuls, okay? That comes out to, if you weigh it out, it's about an average of 3.5 kilos. But because we're in America and we don't use the metric system, that's about 7.7 pounds, almost 8 pounds. So you're going to be given either 8 pounds of rice, or about 8 pounds of dates, or 8 pounds of flour, or 8 pounds. Y'all with me? You'd be like, okay, well, what if I don't have 8 pounds of dates or whatever? طيب, however much that cost, however much 8 pounds of rice cost, that's how much money you give. Now, usually they say about $10. It's about $10, right? Now I know there are some masjids, so even today someone came to me, they said, Sheikh, there's another masjid, they said it's about $15 because the economy is good and mashallah, tabarakallah. Anywhere between there is fine. If you give a little bit more, alhamdulillah wa ni'am. That's no problem. It's not going to cause any confusion, but it's about $10. طيب. So that's what we're supposed to give and how much, right? Now, who's supposed to give zakat? Does this little guy right here have to give zakat? Yes. His mother or father has to give zakat for him. But it has to be for him. And how about this person right here? Yes, they have to give. The sheikhs here, Allah yahfadhum jami'an, may Allah protect all of them. They're older, do they have to give zakat? Yes, they have to give. What about the ladies, the women, do they have to give? Yes. So who has to give zakat? It's like you're saying everybody has to give zakat. Yes, everybody. So the person in the house, the father, he's supposed to give zakat for his wife. So that's $10. And if he has 3 children, that's another 10, another 10, another 10. How much? $50. For every dependent in the household, you have to give. For every dependent, every person in the house. But what if they're just a little baby? MashaAllah. You have to give for the baby too. What if the wife is pregnant and the baby's not born yet? Ihtiyatan, just to be careful, you should also give even when the wife is pregnant and she didn't give birth. So let's say there's the father, the wife, and the 3 kids. How much money? And he said, MashaAllah, tabarakallah, alhamdulillah, my wife is pregnant. Now how much should he give? Now, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh, one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, this is what he used to do. And this is why we say, just to be careful, if a woman is pregnant, you should also give zakat on behalf of the baby, even though she didn't give birth yet. Tayyib, is that clear? Tayyib. So now the last couple of things, when should we give the zakat? When should you give the zakat? What's today for Ramadan? The 26th. So it's the 26th day, and inshallah tonight will be the 27th night, right? So the habit of the Prophet ﷺ used to be either 3 days before Eid, or 2 days before Eid, or 1 day before Eid. No problem. You can give the zakat. 3 days. So you could give today, no problem. You can give tomorrow, no problem. You can give after tomorrow, no problem. But you have to give it before the salah. If you give it after the salat, you are athim. You have made a sin. Even if you give it after the salat, you still have to give it. But if you wait until after the salat, you've made a sin, you did against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now you have to make tawbah. You have to ask Allah to forgive you. Why? Because that was the right of our brother or sister, who they, just like we are celebrating, and you bought your kids a new outfit, and you made your house nice and clean, and we're celebrating. What about our brothers and sisters who don't have anything to eat? They also want to celebrate. And we also want them to be celebrated and for them to be happy the same way we feel happy. And how can you feel happy if you don't have food? At least food. Not new clothes, not presents, but at least food. Can you be happy without food? You can, but it's very difficult. So you have to give it before the salah, for Salat al-Eid. Now, there is another opinion. There are many fuqaha and scholars who also say, what if it's too difficult for us to give in food? For you now to buy 8 pounds of rice from the store, from Aldi's or Cup Foods or whatever, and then I have to go find somebody who's Muslim and I have to give it to them. Maybe that's difficult for you. Especially Eid is in the weekday, right? It's going to be Monday or Tuesday, right? One of those days, hasab al-ru'ya, depending on when they see it. You say, I have to go to work. I don't have time to go and bring it and give to somebody. Can I give it in money? So there are some fuqaha, many of them, just to name a few of them, Ata wal-Hasan al-Basri, and he's from the Tabi'een. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, who was the Khalifa after Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, after they call him the 5th righteous Khalifa, but there's only 4. Al-Muhim, and then also Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Sufyan al-Thawri wa Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhim. All of these different fuqaha, they say if it's too, you can give in money. You can give money or cash instead of the food. So now we said what? The best way to do it is to give in food. If you're not able to, you can give in money. Tayyib, what if I don't know anybody or I'm too busy? Can I give the money to an organization? Can I give the money to a masjid and then they do it? Yes, this is called wakala. أن توكل أحد آخر وهو يدفع عنك. And they distribute the zakat on your behalf. So for example, some of you may know the organization, you know Araha? Have you ever heard of Araha? The American Relief Agency for the Horn of Africa. They work here in Minnesota, or they're here in Minnesota, but they work in Ethiopia, right? They also are in Sudan and in Somalia and Uganda, in East Africa, and in Sharq Afriqi. They work in the Horn of Africa, in this area. We can give the money to them and then they distribute. This is perfectly okay. This is perfectly okay. You can give to the masjid, even Masjid Tawfiq or Tawfiq Islamic Center. They also collect money on Zakat al-Fitr on behalf of people, and then they distribute it to the needy. So if you wanted to give Zakat al-Fitr, you could also do that with the masjid. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to start today. After they have the iftar, they'll have boxes that are labeled Zakat al-Fitr, and you can give it in there if you wanted to. So now we said there's 3 ways you can do it. And the best way is that you get food and you give it yourself. This is the best way. And you know why I say take the food and give it yourself to the person and find a person who needs it? Because if you take your son with you, or you take your daughter with you, and they see their dad, or they see their mom, and they see with their own hands, they're taking food and they're giving to their brother and sister, wallahi, it's like a totally different experience instead of you just putting money in a box. Because when you just put the money in the box, you don't see it, you forget about it, and you don't know. But it's an entirely different experience when you take with your own hand and you see your brother or your sister with your own eyes. Wallahi, it reminds you about the ni'mah that you have. That this person doesn't have enough food, but I'm here to help them. And it reminds you about all the good things that Allah has blessed you with. Because the Prophet ﷺ, one of the things he taught us in our deen, in our religion, when it comes to material things, you should look at the people below you, not the people above. You know, oftentimes, when you look on your phone all the time, and you look on Facebook, wallahi, everybody looks rich, everybody looks happy, everybody looks like, mashallah, tabarakallah, like they're young, everybody looks like everything is perfect on social media, if you know what I'm talking about. When you look on Instagram, everything looks perfect, everything looks good, and when you look at them, you say, I wish I had that. I wish I had that Maserati. I wish I had that Tesla, that Rolls Royce, that nice big Cadillac. I wish I had a big, beautiful $100,000 wedding. I spend $100,000 in one. I wish I had what they had. And it makes you forget what you do have already. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ أو وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Everything you have is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we forget about it, especially when you're looking at people who are above you, people who are rich. But when you see people who don't have anything, you know, like when they had the Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana, right here in America. There were people dying from no clean water. Can you imagine that in America, the richest country in the world, and there was people dying from not having clean water? We would say that's something that happens in Africa. That's something that happens back home. I remember my mom telling me when I was young, she used to have to travel to get clean water and then come back, then she has to carry the water. Here in America, there was people dying from clean water. It reminds you, like, subhanallah, alhamdulillah. Look, if you look back there, there's bottles and bottles and bottles of clean water stacked up, and we're going to drink and we're not going to think of it. There's people here. Sometimes, you know, they wander in the masjid. Wallahi, there was a brother here 2 days ago or 3 days ago. There was a brother here in this masjid, Muslim, an American brother. I said, Salaamu Alaikum, how are you, brother? He said, I'm okay, alhamdulillah, I'm doing all right. I said, what brings you here? Do you live in South Minneapolis? He said, no, brother. He said, yes, I live on the streets. He said, I don't have anywhere to go, brother. He said, I stay at the masjid if they let me. I stay on the street if they let me. I stay at the shelter if they let me. But you know what he said? He said, alhamdulillah. Wallahi, he was smiling the whole time. Akhi, if I'm not sure if I have my rent at the end of the month, I'm worried for my family. This guy, he said, I don't have anywhere to sleep tonight. And he's still saying, alhamdulillah. This should remind us what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. He's given us so much. And zakat al-fitr is a big part of reminding us about that, brothers and sisters. Please don't forget to pay. Iyakum wa iyakum to pay. And don't worry, I'm not doing a fundraiser. I'm not doing a fundraiser. But I'm telling you, please don't forget your brothers and sisters. Whether they're here or whether they're back home, wherever it is. But don't forget them. Now. And lastly, so that's about the zakat al-fitr. So we said what it's for, how much to give, when to give. So khalas, now we say about the Eid al-Fitr, the Eid. So this is al-Fasl Hadi Ashar, Eid al-Fitr. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he said, لِلصَّائِمْ فَرْحَتَانِ يُفْرِحُهُمَا إِذَا أَفْطَرَ فَرِحْ بِفِطْرِهِ وَإِذَا لَقِيَ رَبَّهُ فَرِحَ بِصَوْمِهِ. The Prophet ﷺ said there are 2 happy occasions, brothers and sisters, 2 happy occasions that the person who's fasting, that he's going to experience and he's going to have. 2 happy occasions. He said the first one is when they break their fast, whether it's in the iftar or when you finish the month of Ramadan. You're happy. Say, alhamdulillah, I finished this ibadah, this tremendous ibadah, this act of worship. Alhamdulillah, Allah allowed me to finish. That's why we're saying before Ramadan, what's the dua? Everybody, what's the dua you say before Ramadan? Allahumma, Allahumma balighna Ramadan. We're all saying, oh Allah, allow us to reach the month of Ramadan. And so Allah allowed you to reach it. You started it. You've been going through it. And now we're towards the end. And if you're allowed to finish, you say, alhamdulillah, Allah allowed me to finish. This is a huge blessing. There are some people, they said the same dua. They were next to you. Allahumma balighna Ramadan. And then they died before Ramadan. Even I remember in the Ramadan, remember the sheikh who came from Seattle. There was a sheikh who visited here. His father died after Ramadan started. They prayed janazah for him here at this masjid. He didn't get to finish 1 week. He didn't finish 1 week in Ramadan. But Allah allowed you to finish. Now we're on the 26th day and the 27th night, inshallah. Allah allowed us to reach this far. So you say, alhamdulillah. So when you finish the whole thing, that's huge. That's a huge blessing that Allah allowed us to finish the month of Ramadan. May Allah accept our fasting. Allahumma ameen. So one occasion is when you finish. The second one, which is even better, is when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah allow all of us to gaze upon His face. Allahumma ameen. Because brothers and sisters, you don't understand. ثم والله لا نفهم جيدا لذة النظر إلى وجه الله سبحانه وتعالى. تخيل أخي والأخت، كلنا نتعب في هذه الدنيا. الناس يقولون ما في الله سبحانه وتعالى ليس له وجود. المرأة تلبس الحجاب والناس ينظرون إليها. نقوم في الصباح فجرا تعبان مرهقين عشان نصلي صلاة الفجر، وهذا من البلوغ إلى حتى يأتيك اليقين. كل يوم لابد أن تصلي صلاة الفجر. أنت مريض لابد أن تصلي صلاة الفجر. أنت مسافر لابد أن تصلي. What I was saying, brothers and sisters, is I want you to imagine. I think we don't recognize or realize the greatest reward that we will receive is to look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to see Him. And you might think to yourself, what's the big deal for Furqan? You might say, what's the big deal that I get to look at Allah? So what? So what did I get to look at Allah? But imagine your entire life, brothers and sisters, you live. How much we deal with in this dunya. Islamophobia, people disrespecting Islam, talking bad about Islam. Our sisters, our mothers, our aunties, our little daughters, they wear hijab and people are looking at them and they feel strange here in this place. If you wear a kufi at your work, people look at you. If you have a miswak, people look at you. If you have a beard, well, maybe not the beard now, mashallah, because that's all the fad today, huh? Everybody's having a beard. But if you wear your mudawwir, your khamis, who's this guy? What is he? Why is he doing this? You can't just go to Jumu'ah freely. You see here the people here, when they want to go to church, do they have to ask permission from work? They don't have to, because they can go on Sunday. The whole system is built for them. But for you and me, you have to go to Jumu'ah, and you have to go to Jumu'ah as a man. And then you're sitting in the khutbah, you're praying, Ya Allah, please, inshallah, I hope this khatib, I hope he doesn't have a long tongue. I hope he, that he keeps his khutbah short, because I have to go back to work. Even when you get hired for a new job, you have to ask permission. Excuse me, manager, I know I'm applying for this job, but something you have to realize, I'm a Muslim, I have to leave on Friday. Look, I can come back to work, but I have to leave at least for 1 hour, I have to. And you're not sure, is he gonna say yes? Or is he gonna say no? You don't know. All of this you're doing it for who? Who are you doing it for? The salat that you have to pray even when you're tired, the fasting you have to do even though you're thirsty, who are you doing it for? Yeah, Jama'ah, who are you doing it for? I hope you know the answer. For who? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're doing it for Allah. Did you ever see him, Sheikh Ahmed? Sheikh Ahmed, did you see Allah? Sheikh Abdul Qadir, did you see Allah? Did you see Allah? None of us see Allah. But we put up with all of these things this entire life and we've never seen Him, not once. Everything we're hinging on, we're hinging everything that we do. The woman that you marry, you try to marry a woman who's Muslim, who's righteous, who's good. You try to raise your kids as Muslims who are righteous and good. For who? For Allah. Your business, you try not to cheat, you try not to steal. For who? For Allah. But you've never seen Him. Never, not once. Your entire life revolves around Allah and you've never even seen Him. Even what you eat, there's certain things you're not allowed to eat. There's certain things you're not allowed to do. For who? For Allah. There's certain things you have to, now, right, we have to make Hajj. Man istata'a ilayhi sabila. How much is Hajj nowadays, brothers and sisters? How much? 6,000. MashaAllah. Khair wa barakah if you can find for 6,000. Some places 7,000. Some places 8,000. Some places 10,000. I remember in 2002, I made Hajj. You know how much I made Hajj for? $1,900. That's only what, 17 years ago, 18 years ago? Now, it's increased by how much? $4,000 or $5,000, it's increased. You spend it one time to go over there, to go on vacation, to wear your nicest and best clothes? No, to wear 2 white towels. Nothing else. No hat, no t-shirt, nothing. Just so you can wear this white thing. So you can go around the Kaaba. And it's crowded. There's so many people coughing on your back. People pushing and shoving. You're doing it for who? For Allah. And you spend $7,000, $8,000. That could have been a down payment on a house. That could have been half of the tuition for your kids for college. That could have been a new business back home. That could have been how many different things, but you have to do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we do all these things in our life for Allah. All of these things. And there are people who are telling you, you're stupid, you're crazy. Why do you believe in Allah? You know, the same way Nuh alayhi salam, when he was in the middle of the desert and he's building the ship, the safina, he's building the ship, and people are laughing, look at this guy, he's crazy. What is he doing? He's building this big ship, there's not even any water, there's no river, there's no ocean, there's no lake. They're saying, look at it, he's crazy. And people, sometimes they treat the Muslim like, you're crazy. And you deal with all of that until you die. And then when you die, all those people who said you were wrong, all those people who made fun of Islam, all those people who disrespected Islam, and now here you are, and you're standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is nothing greater than this, brothers and sisters, to gaze upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's face. There is nothing better. All of the things you will get in Jannah, all of the things you will get in Jannah, the gardens, the palaces, the castles, the gardens underneath which rivers flow, the servants you will have, all of that will pale in comparison just to be able to look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we're doing this to meet with Him. And now when you see Him, He has even more reward and more treasures for you because you were someone who used to fast, you were someone who used to pray, and you were someone who used to give the zakat. The Prophet ﷺ said there are 2 occasions that you'll never be more happy. One is when you broke your fast, and the other one is when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's nothing better than this, brothers and sisters. And so, what I want to say is, for the Eid, about the Eid, brothers and sisters, all of us know we wake up early in the morning, we eat our breakfast, you get ready, you're running around, you're telling your kids, hurry up, get dressed, I told you already, mashallah, fix your hair, put on your hijab, etc. And you're all going to pray the Salat al-Eid. Inshallah, bidnillah, all of us will, Allah allow us all to do. I want to advise all of you, brothers and sisters, when you do this, when you go for the Salat al-Eid, after the Eid, don't ruin your Ramadan and don't ruin your Eid. What do I mean, don't ruin your Eid and don't ruin your Ramadan? يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم فيما رواه في سنن الترمذي اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الحور بعد الكون اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الحور بعد الكون. This was a dua or a prayer supplication of the Prophet, peace be upon him, after the month of Ramadan. What does this mean? Allahumma, oh Allah, you're calling Allah. Oh Allah, Ya Allah, Allahumma is the same like saying, Ya Allah. You're calling out to Him. This is Allahumma. Okay? Inni a'udhu bika. Certainly or most definitely, yani inna min adawat al-ta'keed, for emphasis. Oh Allah, I most certainly, a'udhu bika, I need your protection, and I'm asking you for protection, and I want you to guard me from what? Min al-hawri, which means decrease, yani to go down, ba'd al-qawri, after increase. What does this mean? What do we mean? I seek refuge and protection with you, Allah, from decrease after increase. يقول إمام الترمذي رحمه الله تفسيرا لهذا الدعاء: الحول هو الكفر والنقص. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الحول بعد الكون. عفوا. الحول نعم هو النقص والكفر والبدع. والكون هو الزيادة والإيمان والرفع. So what it means, in this month of Ramadan, you increased fasting. Before, most of us, we don't fast throughout the rest of the year. But in this month of Ramadan, we're fasting every day. You increased in this tremendous act of worship. The recitation of the Quran. When I sat down now today to sit down to give my talk, there were many brothers sitting here, and there were some brothers sitting here, and I'm sure there were sisters in the back. They were reading Quran. Many of us, we increase our recitation of the Quran. Some people read a juz, some people read 2 juz, some people read a rubu, some people read half a juz, but they read more in the month of Ramadan. They increase. Taraweeh. Do we pray as a community? Do we pray Taraweeh outside of Ramadan? No, we don't. Did we increase in our prayer? Yes, we did. Did we increase in the time we pray? How long is Taraweeh? Somebody tell me, on average, how long? It's about 1 hour. When's the last time, can we remember, you prayed 1 hour in your house and you were praying for 1 hour? But in Ramadan, you increased how much you pray and even the time that you pray. Then towards the end, in the last 10 nights, many didn't just pray Taraweeh. They prayed Taraweeh and they prayed what? Yeah, Jama'ah, I'm asking you a question. I'm not talking to this one. This one, if I ask him, this is the pillar, the wall, he's not going to answer. I'm asking you, yeah, Jama'ah. Taraweeh and Tahajjud or Qiyam al-Layl. That's increase. The sadaqah, the zakat, the dhikr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He reintroduced these things in our lives. They're always there. It's always been in the Quran. It's always in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But it reminds us that you've increased. Not only this, if you look at this, think about it. Allah showed us what we're capable of doing as individuals. Allah showed you what you can do. Because outside of Ramadan, you might say, you come after work, you say, Wallahi, I'm tired. To go to the masjid for muhadara, halaqa, Wallahi, I'm tired. But in Ramadan, after work, where did you go? You came to the masjid. Did your job change? Your job didn't change. Were you this different kind of tired? No. In fact, you should be more tired because you're fasting and you went to work. But somehow you made it to the masjid. Allah is showing you what you can do as an individual. You are more capable of doing what you think you are. Tayyib, even as families. Many of us throughout the week, outside of Ramadan, we don't bring our children to the masjid. Now, mashallah, when we come to the masjid, is full of children. You go to the gym, it's full of kids. You go to the system, it's full of children. Outside of Ramadan, also, a lot of ladies don't come to the masjid. But in the month of Ramadan, the lady side is full. As families, even Allah is showing you what you're capable of. You can do more than what you do outside of Ramadan. You are increasing. Even as a community, Allah is showing us what we can do better at this time in the month of Ramadan. If we went outside of Ramadan and you come to the masjid, if you came for dhuhr, is the masjid full at dhuhr during the rest of the year? Sheikh, I'm asking, is the masjid full in dhuhr time, full of people, musallin, people praying? Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, is the masjid full? Outside of Ramadan. It's not full. But now, if you came a little bit late for Isha, or you came a little bit late for Taraweeh, you're maybe not going to find parking at the masjid. You won't find parking. Maybe you have to go to another masjid. That's the whole community. Allah is showing us what we're capable of, what we could be. Allah is showing us, you and me. And so, after the month of Ramadan, when you finish celebrating Eid and you give the kids a little bit of money, right? Don't waste, don't decrease, don't go down, don't go to the same person you were before. If you stop smoking cigarettes, don't pick it back up after Ramadan. If you stopped Jimma, Qat or Mira, you know this one? Sheikh, you know? This one? If you stop in Ramadan, don't continue after Ramadan. Cut it out, leave it alone. Just stop after Ramadan. If you had problem looking at women, but you were able to stop in Ramadan, don't go back to that after Ramadan. Don't ruin your Ramadan. Or maybe you have a trouble, maybe it's a woman and she has trouble looking at men, but don't ruin your Ramadan. Maybe you had a problem, an anger problem. You get angry quickly and you fight and argue and yell at people. But in Ramadan, what should you say when you get when someone gets angry and they want to fight you? You say what? Inni imru'un sa'im. I'm fasting. So in Ramadan, if you stopped, you increased, you were getting better, your character, your akhlaq, your adab increased. Don't wait till after Ramadan and then you go back to the same thing. That's what it means. So what I'm advising you and myself, brothers and sisters, when the Ramadan is finished, don't go back to the same thing. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hawri ba'd al-kaw. And as a matter of fact, I would like for all of you to repeat after me. I want you to memorize and learn this dua. I'm going to say it in English and we're going to say it in Arabic. And yes, I want all of you to say it after me. Are y'all ready? Are you ready? I know we're fast. Are you ready? Okay, طيب. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hawri ba'da al-kawri. We're going to do this 3 times. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he used to repeat things 3 times to make sure people remember. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hawri ba'da al-kaw. One last time. Allahumma, and I need to hear you. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hawri ba'd al-kaw. What that means is, oh Allah, I seek refuge with you from decrease after increase. And inshallah, I want you to remember this dua. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hawri ba'd al-kaw. Oh Allah, I don't want to go back to the same guy that I was before Ramadan. I got better in Ramadan. I was fasting, I was praying, I was making ibadah. I wasn't wasting my time on frivolous or filthy or wrong things on my phone or on social media. I had better relations with my family. I was visiting my family. I was visiting the masjid. I was sitting in the masjid. I was reading Quran. I was praying in the night. Oh Allah, don't make me stop this after Ramadan. All of us, we should be making this dua. I hope you understand. Inshallah. Tayyib. So now, the reason why I say this is because usually people after the celebration of Eid, they feel like we're just going to go right back to everything. And we don't want that to happen. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Tayyib. So lastly, and alhamdulillah, this is the last thing inshallah. Is ماذا أو ما بعد Ramadan. And so inshallah, actually my time has come to a close. My time has come to a close, so I'm going to leave this last chapter for after Ramadan, because it talks about what is after Ramadan. Now that Ramadan is finished, what should we do? And I already told you, we should definitely not go back to who we were before. So I just want to close with a little bit of advice for myself and for all of you brothers and sisters. The first advice that I had is this dua that I mentioned for all of you. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hawri ba'd al-kawl. The other thing that we should do after Ramadan is Allah reintroduced into you and in our lives the prayer, fasting, recitation of the Quran, etc. These things should carry over after Ramadan. They should carry over after Ramadan. So for example, with the fasting, there are other days that we can fast after Ramadan. Because we may not, or now we see and we realize, you feel different in Ramadan. Your iman, you feel different. Many of you, you can feel it, you sense it, that you're more connected with Allah, you feel more calm, you feel like, I don't need as much food. You say, Alhamdulillah, you're more appreciative, you're more thankful, you're more, everything is different. Because fasting is one of the strongest and most powerful tools that a believer has in their toolbox. Fasting, as-siyam min aqwa adawat lil mu'min. It's one of the greatest tools that you can use to work on your iman, for your self-discipline, for your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to help you restrain your desires, to help you increase in your iman and in your taqwa, and there are so many other things. So for that reason, we should not stop fasting after the month of Ramadan. So what are days that we can fast? Because do we fast, we keep fasting whole months? No. But you can fast Mondays and Thursdays. Yawm al-Ithnain wa Yawm al-Khamis, which is Mondays and Thursdays. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, for example, on Mondays, the Quran was revealed, the first time that it came down was on a Monday. And the Prophet ﷺ, he was also born on a Monday. So one of two of the days that you can fast every week, and the Prophet ﷺ, كان يداوم على هذا يوم الاثنين ويوم الخميس, fasting Mondays and Thursdays. But you might say, that's a little bit too tough for me to fast every week, twice a week. That might be a little bit difficult. No problem. There's another day that you can fast. Ayyamul Bid, the 13th, the 14th, and 15th of the Islamic calendar. So not the 14th, 15th, and 13th, 14th, and 15th of May, but the 14th, 15th, and the 16th of, for example, Dhul Qa'dah or Muharram. Those 3 days, Ayyamul Bid. That's once a month for 3 days. That's also the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That was the advice that he gave to Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, and also to, I want to say Abu Darda, those two Sahaba. He told them, never leave off Salatul Witr and fasting Ayyamul Bid. So you say 3 days out of that might be not too, that's too much. Tayyib, Yawm al-Ashura, the 10th of Ashura, or in Dhul Hijjah. But my point is what? These are all different days that you can fast throughout the year. This is something that we should not leave. Also the recitation of the Quran. Many of you spent long periods of time, 1 hour, so on and so forth. By the way, Ya Asatidha, Ya Ustad Abu Bakr, whenever y'all are ready, let me know so I can stop. Tayyib, inshallah. The recitation of the Quran, some of you are reading a whole juz every day. Some of you are reading 2 juz every day. Okay, after Ramadan, don't just stop the Quran entirely. Okay, you might not do exactly the same amount like Ramadan, but don't stop entirely. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل. The most beloved actions to Allah are the ones that you do consistently, even if it's something small. And do you know why? Something, even if it's small, it's better that it's consistent. Because if somebody gave $2,000, for example, Or excuse me, let's say that's not money, because inshallah, hopefully you will give when they do their fundraiser. But let's say, for example, you pray Qiyam al-Layl for 1 week, and you pray every night for 2 hours. You do that for 1 week, and then you don't pray Qiyam al-Layl after that at all. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, that was nice, it's good, but you only did it for 1 week. But if you pray Qiyam al-Layl every night, and you do for just 10 minutes, but you do it every night. When you do something consistently, brothers and sisters, consistency shows commitment. When you ask Allah for Jannah, you don't ask Him once, and you don't ask Him twice, and you don't ask Him 10 times. You ask Him when? How many times? Until you die, you keep asking Allah for Jannah. Already you're Muslim. Already you're Muslim. You're here listening to this qatira, you're in the masjid, you're fasting, and in spite of that, you still have to say 17 times a day, every day, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Already you're Muslim. Already you say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasul. But every day you have to ask, oh Allah, guide me. I don't want to be misguided tomorrow, and I don't want to be misguided next week, and 2 years from now. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I don't need it? Jazakallah khair. I don't need tamar? هذا من سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. سبحان الله. Jazakallah khair. You ask every day. Why? Because Allah loves consistency. Because it shows you really want something. It shows you are committed to that thing. It shows that you're committed to Allah and the idea that Allah will forgive you and give you Jannah. So don't leave it off, brothers and sisters. And so inshallah, I'll conclude here with this last action item and this last dua. The one that I told you about, the fasting after Ramadan. Do it with your family. Tell your children, we're going to fast together. Tell your wife, we're going to fast together. Why? Why together? So you can hold each other accountable. So when you wake up for suhoor, you don't wake up by yourself. And so when you make iftar, you don't make iftar by yourself. You do with your family together. Sabiqu ila maghfiratin min rabbikum. Together, all of you race. Don't do by yourself. Do it together with your family. And I want to close with this dua. I said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hawri ba'd al-qawl. And I ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He guide all of us, and that He fill our hearts with iman, and that He show us the truth for what it is, and that He give all of us the strength, the courage, and the sincerity to follow it. And I also ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show us falsehood for what it is, and to give us the strength, the courage, and the sincerity to stay away from it. Allahumma ati nufusana taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khayru man zakkaha wa anta waliyuha wa mawlaha ya rabbal alameen. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباع اللهم أرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم صل وسلم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وجزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So inshallah, we've concluded. We said the last chapter of the book we will finish after Ramadan. So the first Friday after Ramadan, or next week, we'll finish. What should we be doing after Ramadan? How can we make the spirit of Ramadan continue after Ramadan? طيب, and then also, for those of you after the iftar, inshallah, we're going to be having a special event. Obviously, all of you are welcome and are the guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's for an important issue and an important matter. For those of you who are watching on the Oromia Islamic TV abroad and whatnot, and everybody here, we're going to be having a fundraiser for the masjid. And there is something that I wanted to take a moment to address, because there are different people that I've talked to in the masjid, some of them staff, some of them administration, some of them people who are at the masjid. And there's an interesting idea that I keep hearing that reoccurs. And I understand the logic, and it makes sense that someone would think that way, but we have to address it. Some people say, subhanallah, the masjid has been raising money for how long? For so many years. So many years, Masjid Tawfiq or Tawfiq Islamic Center and this, the people, the administration, they've been raising money for a long time. Would you agree?
They were raising money for a long time. And this raising of money for a long time, then it culminated first and foremost by the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First and foremost, we have to remember, by the grace of Allah. Then secondly, thumma ba'da dhalik, thumma, by your efforts. You brothers and sisters who donated what you could, the cab drivers, the business owners, the people who had worked at different companies, all of you, you gave to the masjid. And it culminated in this beautiful building, yes? With the carpet and the mimbar and the camera system and the chandelier and all of these walls. This is what it culminated in. And I think it was, yeah, Sheikh, correct me if I'm wrong, about $2 million something dollars? About, somewhere around there. Give or take, they raised $2 million. At this point, some people said, Khalas, you don't need any money anymore. We built the masjid, it's beautiful. We have the carpet, we have the gym, we have the library, we have everything. Why do you still ask us for money? What do you need money for? We built the building. Did you hear somebody say this before? Yeah, Jama'ah, I'm asking you, did you hear people say this before? Some people, they say, why? Why they're still asking money? Subhanallah, akhi, khalas. The building is here. What do we need? We have the microphone, we have everything. What do you need? And I would say to you, if we were back home, I would say, yes, you are right. I agree with you. Because usually who takes care of the masjid? A sheikh or an imam and his family or whatever. And they are the ones who build the masjid. They take care of all the expenses. If we were in Saudi Arabia, we would say, Wizarat al-Shu'un al-Islamiyya. They take care of the masjid. And if you go to Egypt, they have Shu'un al-Da'wa wal-Irshad. They have a ministry that takes care of the masjid. And so the government pays for the masjid. But here we are in the good old US of A, in the United States of America. Does Trump have a Wizarat al-Shu'un al-Islamiyya? Yeah, Jama'ah, I'm asking you, does Trump have Wizarat al-Shu'un al-Islamiyya? There is not. Do you know why? Because you are Wizarat al-Shu'un al-Islamiyya. You are the one who's taking care of the masjid. You say, but Elias, the masjid is already built. Okay, tayyib. Let us all try to come and pray in the masjid with no lights. Do we want to do that? Or let us all come to the masjid with no water to make wudu. Should we do that? We can't do that. So Abu Bakr is going to pay for the water for all by himself for the masjid? No, of course not. This sheikh is going to pay for himself by himself? No, of course not. Brothers and sisters, you pay the rent for your house or your apartment, yes? You pay for it. And you take care of it. You buy a vacuum for it. You buy curtains for it. You clean it. You make sure that it's taken care of. And you do that, why? Because it's your house, because it's your apartment, because that's your place where you live, your family. You say, I have to take care of it. If I don't take care of it, who will take care of it? Wouldn't you say that? Ya Jama'ah, I'm asking you, as'alukum billah. I'm asking all of you, and I need all of your attention. All of you here, don't worry, they're just putting water and dates, and he's just setting up the table. I'm asking all of you, you take care of your house, because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? Nobody's going to do it, right? If you don't take care of your house, no one will take care of it. It's the same thing at the masjid. And imagine, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. The masjid is for Allah, so whose house is it? Ya Jama'ah, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. Al-masjid liman? Lillah. It's the house of Allah. If you take care of your house, because you say, if I don't take care of it, who's going to take care of it? You should be more concerned. You should be more worried. And more, who's going to take care of the house of Allah? Because if we don't do it, the mayor of Minneapolis is going to do it for us. Right? The mayor of Minneapolis is going to pay for our masjid. to make sure there's electricity, to make sure that there's program for young people, to make sure that there's counseling, to make sure that there's weddings, to make sure that there's iftar. Huh? I know. Congress will do for us. No, not Congress. Of course not. As a matter of fact, it's illegal in the United States for them to do anything for us. But it's wajib for us to take care of the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because if you and I don't do it, no one will do it. And you should be shy. All of us. Yani, aib. You would be ashamed if your mother or father, if they had a house and you could take care of them and you didn't take care of them. It would be aib, right? To not take care of your mother and father. They're old, they can't do for themselves, and you leave them alone. Wallahi, it's a greater aib than to abandon your parents. It's a greater aib to abandon the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi, aib. If we don't take care of the house of Allah, then no one will take care of it. That's all I want to remind you of. That we have to take care of the masjid. How much you can and what you can, whether it's money, whether it's your time, whether it's your effort, whether you volunteer, whether it's your expertise, but you and I. And some of you might say, wallahi, this guy, he's speaking in English, he's only talking to the youth. And I'm not talking to them. The one who has hinna in his beard, maybe the sheikh, he has ilm, maybe he has hikmah, maybe he has khibra, maybe he has something I don't have. I'm younger than him. He knows something I don't know. The masjid, he has to come and help take care of the masjid. And the little kid right there, he's younger than me. Maybe he doesn't know as much as me, but he has more energy than me. He has more free time than me. He has to come and help the masjid. The mom, the dad, all of us, we have to come and help and support the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with whatever you can. And inshallah, I'll close there because I promise you I wasn't doing the fundraising. That's somebody else's job. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And one more thing. If I said anything that offended anybody, because it came to my attention, sometimes, unfortunately, I'm Jolene Amriki. You know Jolene Amriki? I'm Jolene Amriki. I was born here. So sometimes when I talk, maybe I didn't say it the right way. Whatever I said, if I said anything wrong, Allah, it's from my own shortcomings because I'm a human being, or it's from the shaitan. But anything I say here, today, yesterday, 2 months ago, a year ago, because I've been here for 1 year and 6 months, anything I ever said, I only said it because what? Allah, because I love all of you for the sake of Allah, the same way like you're my brother. Not like you are my brother, because Allah didn't say, إنما المؤمنون كإخوة ما قال هذا إنما المؤمنون يا شيخ يحيى إخوة ليس كإخوة ليس مماثلة بل هم إخوة إخوان حقيقيا. We are really brothers and sisters. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. Oh, you who believe, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and speak straight, a straightforward word. So sometimes when I speak, if I speak straight, or if I say, for example, and I'm only going to use this as an example today, sometimes I say about Oromia or Oromuma, or I speak about the people. Not because I don't like Oromo or Oromia or the Oromo people, because you are all my brothers. All of you in this masjid right now are my brothers. If you asked me for anything in my pocket, if I have it, it is yours. And I would expect no less the same from you to give for me. So sometimes when I speak, I say, for example, the masjid is for Allah and not just for Oromo people. Some people said, why he said this? Why he say not for Oromo people? Don't worry, I didn't only say for Oromo people. For Somali, for the Arab, for Saudi, for the Yemeni, for the Pakistani, for the Sudani, for the Ugandi, for the African American, for the white brother, for the Hispanic, for the Native American. Why? Because all of us, Sheikh Yahya, we already said what? وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. All of us are welcome here. It just so happens that the majority of us here, alhamdulillah, we're all from the same place, وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدِ. So that just means an extra reason why we're even brothers and sisters. But the most important thing is that we all say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. I don't care. I really don't care if you are Arsi. I don't care if you're from Bali. I don't care if you are from Harar or Daredawa or from any other place. If you say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, akhi, my daughter, if you came and you asked me for my daughter, you say, Elias, I want to get married. Wa anta rajulun salih. Rajulun salih, akhi, for you. That's like me. I hope everybody understands, inshallah. Please, if you give me, what do you say every time for Ramadan? Afwan lillah? Afwan lillah, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum.
محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله